Hi, I'm Dave Ertl, Disability and Employment Lawyer at Ertl Lawyers. One of the most common questions we get is, do I qualify for long-term disability benefits if I have carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis? Carpal tunnel syndrome and tendonitis are both musculoskeletal disorders and are considered repetitive strain injuries. Carpal tunnel syndrome affects the hand and wrist and occurs when, through repetitive or excessive movement, the lubrication system in the wrist does not work. Tendonitis is when the tendon, usually in the hand, wrist, shoulder, or elbow, becomes inflamed or irritated. Both can qualify for long-term disability benefits. According to Workplace Safety North, 1 in 10 Canadians experienced a repetitive strain injury such as carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis, serious enough to limit normal activities. About 2.3 million Canadians aged 20 and up reported a repetitive strain injury in 2017. Women between the ages of 50 and 75 are most at risk, or people who have a job that involves repetitive hand-wrist motions. With carpal tunnel syndrome, the most common symptoms include tingling of the thumb, index, middle, and ring fingers, weakness in the hands, difficulty pinching and grasping, dropping items, pain in the hands, wrists, shoulders, and arms, numbness and loss of dexterity, as well as dry skin. With tendonitis, the most common symptoms include pain at the site of the injury, decreased strength or functional ability, tenderness in the area, swelling, redness, restriction in movement. These symptoms can make it difficult, if not impossible, to do your job. The Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety recommends redesigning your workspace or tools to prevent awkward wrist positions and to minimize the stress of repetitive motions. Further, it suggests training to reduce the number of strange positions for the wrist and how to reduce repetitive movement. Other treatment options include home remedies, chiropractic therapy, physical or occupational therapy, medication, as well as surgery. Insurance companies frequently deny long-term disability benefits for people with carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis. The most common reasons for denial include your condition is considered a pre-existing condition, and the coverage is excluded by the pre-existing condition clause of your disability policy. 2, because you've had carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis for years and you've been working with your disability for years, there's no real change in your disability, and you should be able to manage it. 3, because carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis symptoms are often categorized by periods of flare-ups and remissions, your condition is only temporary and there's no reason you can't work. 4, the insurance company takes the position that your symptoms are subjective, as in it's in your head, and therefore it disputes just how much your disability impacts you. 5, there's no reason you can't work with accommodations provided by your employer. But there are many reasons why LTD insurers deny claims for carpal tunnel and tendonitis. What are some steps you should take before you apply for long-term disability benefits for carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis? Well, first you should review your policy carefully. Your entitlement to disability benefits for carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis, it depends on the specific wording of your disability policy, so you'll need a copy of it. Review it. See how it defines things like totally disabled and whether any exclusions apply, particularly for pre-existing conditions. 2, gather medical evidence. You'll need to get a copy of your medical records to see if there's an objective basis for your diagnosis of carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis, and what your medical records say about your symptoms and your restrictions and limitations. 3, gather evidence of workplace limitations. You should get a copy of your employee file from work. It might show that your carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis negatively impacted your work performance. Your work performance may have been impacted by your frequent absences from work, pain, or fatigue. 4, create a list of the physical duties of your job. You should get a copy of your job description, and based on that job description, you should write out a detailed list of the physical and mental duties associated with your job, and explain how your carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis limits or prevents you from performing your own occupation. 5, ask your doctor for a report. It's recommended that you provide your doctor with your occupational description. You should ask your doctor to prepare a report that clearly explains the objective basis for your diagnosis of carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis, your restrictions and limitations, the reasons why you're unable to perform some or all of the essential duties of your own occupation. Keep a pain diary. On your end, it's important to keep a pain diary, which is a written record that helps you keep track of when you have pain, how bad it is, and whether your treatment is helping. Has your claim for disability benefits been denied? Has the insurance company denied your appeal? Were you receiving benefits and the insurance company terminated those benefits? Well, the experienced team at Ertl Lawyers can help. We'll work with you and your physician to help challenge the insurance company's denial or discontinuance of your long-term disability benefits. Where necessary, we'll engage other trusted professionals to support your case, including specialists, functional capacity evaluators, and vocational evaluators to help credibly explain why your disability symptoms are preventing you from doing your own occupation or any occupation. Ertl Lawyers offers a free case assessment, as well as fair and flexible rates including contingency fees, meaning you only pay if you win. If you're looking for long-term disability lawyers that care about your well-being, you've found us. Give us a call today. Our help can make all the difference.